I think he just prioritized my development. You know, I think he spoke to me from a place of uh, transparency, and he kind of told me what it was. So I respected that, and yeah, he just looks like a worker. He sounds like a worker. So, and I'm a worker, so I'm ready to get over there and work.
And last one from me, and I'll handball you on. What are you expecting your role to be in the team? Is it in that sort of 2 position, 3 position, you know, defending the perimeter, scoring the basketball, of course, a little bit of everything, or is there something really particular that you'll focus on in your time as a jack jumper?
Um, I think kind of all the things you mentioned. I want to do a little bit of everything. I think I can do a little bit of everything. But just really immersing myself in the team, and whatever they need me to do and whatever coach wants me to do, that's what I'll do.
Great, thanks, mate. Yeah, I'll throw it open to anybody who'd like to jump in.
Hi, Junior. It's Brian here from the Examiner in Launceston. Yeah, you've already been to Tassie a few times with the Phoenix. Yeah, what were those experiences for you like playing here?
Pretty nice actually. Like when I got out to Tassie, I really didn't know what to expect. So it was my first time there. So yeah, it was just exciting to see it. Kind of reminds me of a lot of Hawaii, and that's where I went to college. Kind of that island life. So I kind of gravitated towards it. I was comfortable there, and had a lot of fun playing there too. So the fans were crazy. So that's exciting.
Yeah, that's great to hear, mate. And I guess you've said you've done a bit of research and obviously had some trips to Tassie. Yeah, is there anything else that you've enjoyed about coming here besides sort of the basketball, like, and the lifestyle things you've already mentioned? Like, have you done a bit of sightseeing in the past at all?
No sightseeing, but I'm aware of the scenery, and that's something that I really like. So I'm excited to go out there and just see that stuff for sure.
Yeah. Well, tell us a bit more about yourself, because yeah, obviously South Sudanese and have grown up in, I think it was Sydney's West, and then been off to college as well. Can you just give us a bit of an insight into your basketball career growing up?
Yeah, my basketball career going up, just like you said, grew up playing in Sydney's West. Played a lot of outdoor basketball, but was a very active kid, so played a lot of sports in general. And then yeah, it was kind of just one opportunity after the other for me. So it's kind of prep school, get another opportunity, went to junior college, and then went to Hawaii, and then Phoenix. So it's just been, you know, one year after the other, just another opportunity and not knowing what's next, but just finding a way. So it's been crazy for me, but it's been great. And I'm definitely grateful for the experiences that I've had.
Nice. And just the last one for me, mate. Like, I'm just looking into things. I think last year was your full first season at NBL, right? Yeah. So what do you feel in terms of your own personal development that you want to keep working on in your first season with the Jack Jumpers?
I think there's a lot of things to work on. Kind of being in a professional environment for the first time, it was an adjustment. So just kind of want to work on doing better in the environment, working on my skills, my strengths. You know, I want to become a better defender. I want to become a better 3-point shooter. So those will be some of the focuses, but just overall, just getting better every year.
Thanks, Junior.
I'll jump in. Andrew from Win News here, Junior. Great to have you on board. I guess a big thing Coach Roth talks about is getting guys on his team that are underestimated and have a bit of a chip on their shoulder and want to improve themselves. I guess, is that an appeal for you? Do you feel like you've been underestimated up until this point? Is that a lure at all?
Yeah, I think I'm still underestimated, and you know, to be honest, maybe I haven't done enough yet, but yeah, I do feel underrated and underestimated, and I feel like I do have a lot to prove, and I'm excited to come to Tassie and get that opportunity.
And what about off court? Basketball's really taken off down here, and it looks like they might be competing with an AFL team, which we never thought would happen, but they've been doing the court stuff really well. Do you embrace that opportunity to get out to schools and really sell what the Jack Jumpers are about?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I think even just from my Hawaii days, just seeing how much the kids over there really love the game of basketball, just because it's such a small island and we were the only team they had, so they just had to support us. So I've always had that in me. Just even now at North, I'm just been playing with the kids and going out to camps, and it's a lot of fun, and it's a way to give back. So for me, that's nothing, and it's exciting, and I'm excited because I've heard a lot about the Tasmania community and how much they love basketball, which prior to signing I didn't really know. So yeah, I'm excited to see what that's like, honestly.
And last one from me: when do you arrive in town? I'm glad you compared Tassie to Hawaii. Very similar climate-wise, mate. I hope you get down here in the middle of winter, and you might find that it might be a little bit chillier. But when do you arrive, and when does training kick off?
So we're hopefully going to get a mini camp in late July. Just like a bunch of whoever's available, just come in and get some work in, get familiar. And then I guess we'll be back August 7th. So that's when everyone will get in, and that's when we'll get started.
Awesome, mate. Thank you very much. I'll throw it over to anyone else.
Yep.
Hey, Junior, it's Johnny from News Corp. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, that's the way. Do you feel like you talk about being underrated and wanting to prove yourself? Do you feel like you're ready to take on a few extra minutes and like you say, with a few strings to your bow there defensively and shooting wise, that you can fill a lot of different scenarios coming off the bench and maybe get those extra minutes to fill those roles?
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna I think my plan and my mentality coming into this situation is just honestly just to work hard and kind of just take it day by day. And I think with that, I think the rewards will come and the opportunities will come, and then I'll just have to be ready when that comes. So yeah.
And if you don't mind me asking, what was the feedback from the Phoenix when you left there? Did they say you had particular things you needed to work on, or what was the sort of the feedback there that going forward into the Jackies now?
I think we had conversations at the end of the season, just kind of the things that I mentioned already, just better at things that I'm already good at and trying to be great at them. So that was the feedback, and they're all very supportive and happy for me. So yeah.
And you've already shown a couple of times in the NBL one. I think you put up 50 on a team not too long ago. So does that give you confidence that when required you can come in and really put on a bit of a scoring spurt if needed for the team, because shooting's probably an area that they need to restock after last year.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and that's why the NBL one's so great. I think guys just get to come down this level and just build that confidence and just work on the things that that you want to work on in the off season, but in game situations. So yeah, I think it's been great, and I think it's helping me build my confidence, and it's exciting.
No worries, that's all for me.
Thank you.
G'day, Junior. Tom here from Seven. Just one from me, mate. What have your conversations been like with Scott Roth so far? Has he sort of outlined, I guess, his vision for you and how you're going to fit into the team puzzle?
Yeah, 100%. Hasn't gone too much in depth, but he's already spoken to me about things that he wants me to work on and things that he thinks I can be better at. Just little things, just advice about the game. So it's been good, and I've just been taking it on and then try to be better at it, and then try to prepare myself for the season at Tasmania.
And what are some of those things he's pointed out in particular? Has he anything you've taken on board?
Yeah, I mean, I think he told me that he thinks I'm very can be a very capable defender, and he just wants me to just embrace that and be better at that, and that's just something that I'm trying to take on an NBL one now and see if I can build on that.
Beauty. Good luck for the season. Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Just one last quick one from me, if I can, Junior. You mentioned off the top you had some existing relationships through back from your college days and whatnot with the Jack Jumpers. Are you able to detail some of those and who your influences are in terms of those relationships already existing at Tasmania?
Yeah, just through my head coach at Hawaii, Coach Gannott, and my assistant Brad Davidson. they've got some relationships with some players on the team and coaching staff as well. So it'll be exciting to get over there and share some funny stories and just kind of bond through that, I guess.
And how pivotal is that coming into a new club and trying to integrate and blend into a new team to have those sort of, conversation starters, I suppose, when you're joining a new club?
Yeah, no, it's good. It definitely gives you a peace of mind, when you know people that can vouch for other people and tell you about these people and tell you they're good people. And that's kind of what my college coaches did for me. So it kind of gives me that peace of mind knowing what I'm getting into, and I know the type of people they are. So it just, it helps the situation a lot.
Great. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, I was saying that I guess there have been talks with Tasmania, or like just interest in general from when I was in college. And I think the conversation just sparked up a bit more this off season, and spoke to Scott Roth and liked what he had to say, spoke to the assistants, and I think they all have a big plan, and they're ready to work, and they have an exciting group of guys already there, an exciting community. So to me, it's easy for me to just come in and join something that's already good. So that kind of gave me the confidence to come to Tasmania.
Yeah. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Sorry, have you got me now, everyone?
Yeah, I couldn't hear you before. Sorry.
Apologies, Junior. Real issues over here. And can we just get you to say in your own words, what sort of player are you? And I suppose, what are your strengths within yourself?
I think my strengths as a player, I think I'm a great teammate. I think I'm going to play hard. I think I can score the ball. I think I can do a lot of everything, kind of whatever's asked of me. So I just think my motor and my toughness is something that I can always fall back on. Those are my strengths.
Yeah, so Junior's a guy we've been tracking for a while. He we obviously had some pre-season games in the North and Northwest last season, and he really had a couple of standout performances. And then as the season went on, obviously he was a very strong contributor for Southeast. So I've been tracking him since then, and obviously before then in his college days as well. But I think the things that drew us to him was his length and athleticism, and his ability to play both sides of the ball. He can obviously lock down on defense and also give us a bit of scoring punch as well. So we're excited to have him on board and be part of our team, and really looking forward to see what he can do in Jack Jumpers colours.
It feels like he might sort of take that McDaniel roster slot, be a bit of a Clint Steindl sort of type. Was that sort of the thinking? And once McDaniel didn't take up his player option, that Junior Madut would be a pretty nice sort of like for like, or maybe even a little bit of an upgrade on him?
Yeah, no, so I think obviously there's still slightly different. Sam's obviously got a little bit more experience in terms of NBL experience, but I guess for us it was just, as I said, it was that sort of Jack Jumpers DNA that he has in him. He's obviously looking to prove himself and really establish himself in the NBL stage, which is something we look for in guys. And then that length and that shooting ability, which is something we've probably lacked in our first two seasons, is something that drew us to him as well. And we think we can really obviously be a position where Junior can flourish in our squad, and sort of give him the opportunity to show what he can do best, and we really think it's a good fit for both parties, and excited to get him on the floor.
Jorrick, every Jack Jumpers fan in the States, the latest news on Doyle. I know you've spoken to him previously about some sort of hold-ups with his club in Turkey, but do you have an update in terms of whether or not he will be back in season?
Yeah, no, it's still really positive conversations, but obviously the Turkish league, the regular season doesn't finish until mid-May, and then I'm not sure if they're in the playoff hunt at the moment too. So as I said, we need to be really patient. We're in a great spot with Milton. We're very confident that we can get something done when the time is right, but we also, as I've said in previous interviews as well, is we have to respect the fact that he's a signed player with another club, and we have to wait for that to finish before we can really start ramping up conversations. But the dialogue we've had with his team has been positive, but we're at a point now where we're just going to wait for their season to finish before we can really see if we can progress that and get that finalised. But as I said all along, in terms of the hunt for an import, we probably won't be looking to do that until the end of May anyway. So if it's Milton, that's obviously the dream scenario. If it's not, it's probably not putting us behind anywhere in that search for an import. So we've just got to be patient and hope that the experience Milton and his family had in the last season is enough to get him over the line and want to come back again.
So is it a case that he's sort of not actually signed yet, rather than he's signed, you just sort of can't announce it because of the hold up with his club?
No, definitely not signed. So we need to work through in the background with that as well. It's just it's a similar situation when Jack McVeigh and Will Magno went the other way. I guess as respect for the club, you don't sign a player until they've finished their commitments with that club. So those other clubs did the same thing. So as a global sport, and it's sort of good courtesy to other clubs in the world that you respect that, and that's a position we are. We always try to conduct ourselves with the highest level of values, and that's something that we're really conscious of, and we obviously don't want to step over that line because we'd expect other clubs to treat us the same way in future years.
Just last one from me, and I'll handle what you want. Karen Armstrong's obviously signed with Cairns. Missed opportunity there for Tasmania to get him on board. It seems, outside looking in, he would have been a magnificent fit, not only because he's a Tasmanian sort of born and bred player, but also would fill that slot very, very nicely. Is that one that slipped through your fingers?
Oh, not necessarily slipped through our fingers. I think first and foremost, it's just great to have another Tasmanian in the NBL. I think that's the true story that we should be celebrating, is that we've got another Tasmanian playing at the highest level. It's gone from 1 to 2 now, so we've doubled our numbers. I guess from our perspective, obviously we had interest and we would have loved Taryn to be here, but we've got to remember too that it's a professional sport with a genuine free agency. So the fact that you express an interest doesn't mean that the player's always going to think that it's the best opportunity for them. And Scott's spoken long and hard too about we do not promise anything down here at Tasmania. We obviously provide an opportunity, and if you work hard, you'll be rewarded. But there's no guarantees of anything. And obviously the situation in Cairns might have been different or something that appealed to him more. So that's it. We respect that. Like as I've said along the way too. We hope he has 25 great games a year, and the 3 that we play against them, he doesn't go so well. But it's exciting that we've got another Tasmanian in the league, and we wish Taryn the best. And on his journey, and hopefully one day he's playing in the NBA, and if not, and decides to come back to Tassie, we'll welcome him back with open arms.
Is that hamper your chances of landing your brother now, or is he still very much on the way for you guys?
I wouldn't have thought so. So we've always haven't treated them as a package. We've treated them as individuals and individual players with different skill sets. So we're still in conversations with Trey and his team around potentially coming down here next year as a DP, but again, their timelines for making decisions is something that he's going to work through with his group. But we're still confident we'd be able to get something done with him as well. I don't think Taryn going north rules him out of being here. But we've also got to remember that there's still another 9 other clubs as us, and just because they're Tasmanian doesn't mean that they're going to pick us or do anything like that. We've just got to be realistic that it is professional sports, and you're not going to have an all Tasmanian lineup, or all Tasmanians aren't going to want to play for you.
No worries. Thanks, mate. Sorry, guys. I've popped Jorrick there. Over to you.
Hi, Jorrick. It's Brian.
Sorry, Brian, you go.
Yeah, I'll be quick. Thanks, John. Hi, Jorrick. It's Brian from the Examiner. Hope you're going well.
Thanks, Brian.
There's an interesting quick question asked to Judy there, just about, obviously there's all the AFL stadium stuff.
Yep.
The question here was just about how well the Jack Jumpers have done off court in terms of promoting your brand over since you've entered the league and in the North and the South. I guess cricket's popped up in the last few days about the stadium, but does the AFL talk and the stadium sport sort of impact the Jack Jumpers at all, or how do you guys sort of look at it from your perspective?
Yeah, I guess there's 2 lenses I come at it from. Number one, it's a Tasmanian. It's great to have another sporting team on a national competition and Tasmanian represented on the national stage. Where we're very excited to have another sporting team here and more professional athletes in Tasmania. I think it's, as we do, provide great pathways for athletes and an aspirational piece as well. In terms of stadiums and stuff, like I guess our biggest focus for us is trying to get MyState Bank Arena more capacity, and we're obviously as a tenant there, we really want more capacity at that arena so we can cater for our bigger crowds. And I think for us, our goal has always been to be, and the NBL's goal has always been to be the number 1 summer sport. So now that the public's going to have a choice, they can come and hopefully watch us in the summer and watch the footy in the winter, and we're really excited about that prospect. And I think as again, Tasmanian representation on the national stage is just amazing for the state.
Thanks, Jorrick. Cheers.
Hey, Jorrick, it's John here from Launceston as well. How are you?
Good, John. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, pretty good.
That's good.
Just on the stadium, obviously with 65 mil, 130 mil, sorry, being pumped into UTAS with a new precinct. Does that give opportunities for you guys to maybe move there eventually and play a couple of games there?
So I'm not 100% sure what part of the stadium. I know I've heard whispers that there is plans for a stadium to be built there and different things. So I guess we're open especially our northern games, to play our northern games anywhere. Obviously, we've been playing at the Silverdome, which has been a great relationship with them, and working with the state government to make that a better experience for our fans in years moving forward. But we're always open to playing at venues that have, you know, the best experience for our members and our fans coming through the door. So if there was an opportunity, we would definitely look at it and work with Stadiums Tasmania to make that happen. But I think, yeah, it's obviously exciting infrastructure growth there at UTAS Stadium, so we'll keep an eye on it as it progresses along.
And just other on Milton, do you feel like, you know, he's a domino that really needs to fall? Do you feel like other players are just waiting to see what happens with Milton, and then maybe another couple of dominoes will fall there because they want to come and play alongside someone like him?
I think in terms of our roster build now, we've got one Australian spot left in effect and 3 import spots to go. So I think in terms of Australian talent coming through the door, we'll leave that spot open for a few more weeks or another month or so, and see what happens in the market and see if any of these Australians come back from overseas. But realistically, I guess when you're pitching to a player, it's more about what we offer them in terms of, I think Junior touched on it himself, you know, it's an opportunity for these guys to get better and work with a world-renowned coach. So we're still pretty confident that we can attract players to Tasmania, and as Tasmania, once you get guys here, they love it and they want to stay. So we're really confident that we can still sell the dream to them and still recruit hard. And I think the difference with free agency this year to last year, and this is a learning point for everyone in the market, is obviously things are a lot slower when there's a lot more time between seasons. So that's just something where, you know, we're being patient, and I guess that we're asking the public to be patient with us, is that these things don't happen as quickly as they have in the past, because there's still a lot of Americans and imports playing overseas in European leagues that are still going through. The NBA is obviously still going through. So a lot of these moving pieces won't happen until the back end of May and June sort of time. So we just need to be patient and let that process play out, and not panic as an organisation and do something reckless, and just be patient and wait for the opportunities to present themselves.
Yeah, basically told you that, basically.
100%, as you know, like I guess, yeah, with those things too, like, you know, the earlier you go, sometimes the more expensive it can be. So we just need to be really, we've spoken about it before, you know, one of our pillars is fiscal responsibility and financial sustainability. So we've got to make sure we live within our means and make sure that we're here for the long term and a really viable product. And we're confident that we can bring talent in that's going to obviously, one, make us competitive, and two, give our fans someone good to watch. And back in the Milton space, as I said, we're confident we can get something done when the time's right. So we just have to be patient and not push too hard that we end up scaring him off. So we just need to be really patient and be ready to go when the time's right.
No worries, you can say.
I'll jump in if I can. Macca from Win here, Giles.
Macca! Big upgrade, mate. Where's BC? They kicked him out, did they?
He flew to Singapore. He couldn't handle the excitement of an AFL.
Probably a bit of face for camera too, mate, but we won't tell him that.
Well, yeah, no, don't tell him. Mate, I guess, are you confident enough in getting Milton that you can now start filling those 2 other important spots, or is it still a wait and see?
Yeah, we're still looking at options. So we're obviously still, you know, quietly working behind the scenes with Josh and his team and Rashad and his team. So I guess for us, obviously Milton's the key piece. If we get Milton, then it sort of gives us a bit of a surety around what we can do in those other 2 spots and exactly what sort of positions we're looking for, whether that's a 1, whether that's a 3, whether that's a 4, whether that's a 5, like that. That'll sort of help us round that out along with that last Australian spot. But I guess you said, like, these guys are still playing and doing their thing, so we've just really got to be patient. But it doesn't mean we're not doing a mountain of work. Like, I know the coaching staff and their team have got whiteboards and playlists everywhere ready to go, so that when the time's right to start moving, we are there, and we're doing a lot of due diligence in that space. It's just, yeah, the timings are obviously different than what we used to. Our year 1 free agency started at the end of July, and we started playing, you know, 2 months later, and same as last year, we finished late because we went to the finals, and we started, you know, we had a 3-month off season and went straight back into it. So we had to move a lot quicker than we've had to this year, and that's just us, you know, learning as a club too. We've got to be patient and we've got to be diligent and just ride the process out as it plays out.
So Josh and Rashad are out of the picture from the sounds of that, which I guess a lot of fans would be excited about. But at what point do they need to make a call if you're waiting on Milton?
So they're probably the same timeline. So universally, there's some guys signing, and obviously that happens early. But from previous experience, a lot of the moving and shaking doesn't start happening until they start getting towards the NBA Summer League. So that's early July. So a lot of these guys will know mid-June to late June whether they've got an opportunity to go to Summer League with an NBA team. So that's when all of these dominoes start to fall. So I guess that's the sort of space we're in, and we're in dialogue with them, and they're you know, to be completely transparent, I'm sure they're looking at all other options too, and looking at what they want to do as well. So it's just exploratory conversations, and obviously the impact they provided for us, Josh especially over his first 2 years, and Rashad last year, was something that we don't take for granted, and something that we definitely want to recognise, and you know, give them the opportunity to come back if it presents well for both parties. But I'm not saying they're in or out. It's just that we're exploring all options, but definitely Milton's the one we're zeroing in on, and the one we're hoping to get over the line first before we start moving to those other spots.
And where's the next star at? Rocky mentioned it the other day.
Yep.
And it's was looking really, really close. Are we any closer than we were a week ago?
Not with the ones we're discussing at the moment. We've been in conversations with lots of different next stars probably over the journey since probably January this year. So we've missed on a couple, but we're still exploring probably 2 or 3 more that we think can have an impact. Again, the difficulties with next stars is that a lot of these kids have put their name in for the draft this year, and then will potentially withdraw. So at the moment now, we're just waiting to see if they withdraw from this year's NBA draft, which then makes them eligible to be a next star, and then we can pursue conversations down that line as well. So it's definitely an avenue we have not ruled out in terms of getting more talent, but again, just need to be patient and let these sort of things happen in the background before we before we can progress those decisions.
And last one from me, there was talk also, you said that obviously there's only one spot left for an Australian player. As each day goes on, is there chances of Shawnee Mack getting upgraded to a full contract a year early looking more likely?
It's a bit hard to tell at the moment. I guess for us, Sean played so well last year that obviously his talent, we need to recognise that too. So we would not bring a person that we didn't think was better than, you know, or could contribute in a different way than Sean would. So I guess that's one option. But we're open to everything. There are still, you know, if you look at the NBL free agency list, there's still a lot of talent floating around, and there's still a lot of kids coming back from college and guys who are playing in high level Europe or China or Asia or even in the US that might want to come back. So I guess that last spot for us is just, you know, gives us a little bit of flexibility if an opportunity presents itself with a potential big name Australian or even a mid-tier Australian, that we've got the flexibility to make a move. So again, I know I've been saying it all along, it's just patience and just letting the process play out and really exploring all avenues that we can.